Hey there, Matt here with 5280 Armory. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a rifle that's pretty hard to come by. It's a Springfield Hellion chambered in 5.56. Let's get started by taking a look at some of its history and some of the features it has to offer. This bullpup is coming out of the country of Croatia. That's the home of the company HS Produkts. It's also the manufacturer that Springfield gets its XDs, XDMs, XDSs, and the new Hellcat pistol from. Springfield started its relationship with this company by importing the HS 2000 9mm pistol back in 2002. It was rebranded the Springfield Armory XD, XD for extreme duty. HS Product has stayed innovative on their handgun lineup for over 20 years now, giving Springfield Armory many different models to import. This will be their first bullpup to hit the U.S. market. That 20-year relationship between the two companies is key to how we are going to get a chance in the U.S. to see this Croatian version of the VHS bullpup rifle. Given the turmoil going on in that part of the world right now, we're happy that we're going to see it at all. The design of the VHS bullpup dates back to about the turn of the millennia. The earlier versions bear a strong resemblance to the French FAMAS, and that goes back even further to the late 1960s or so. The Hellion definitely has a different appearance compared to its predecessor, the earlier VHS. So why don't we take a closer look at what the differences are and the features that this Hellion has to offer. For starters, this is the only bullpup on the U.S. market that I can think of that has an adjustable buttstock. It has 5 positions, amounting to about 2 inches of overall adjustment. That gives this bullpup an overall length of about 28 to 30 inches, depending on the length you choose. The adjustment lever itself is located right back at the buttstock, right where it should be. The buttstock itself has a footprint that's similar in shape and size to an AR-15. It does have a rubber butt pad permanently attached for grip. On the top of the buttstock sits a cheek rest that doubles as a shell deflector. Springfield doesn't talk much about this feature on their website, and at first glance it can be a little deceiving at first. It does appear to be adjustable, but it's difficult to get it unlocked from its original position, and it doesn't seem to stay raised when it's in its second position. I believe that's because it was never intended to be adjustable in the first place. This slot right here is initially what would make you think that this is going to have a second height adjustment. But really what ends up happening is when you take this apart and you cam this cheek rest out of the way, that's what you need to do to be able to change the locking pin on the dust cover from right to left. Now I will make a suggestion to HS Products that they simply add a second notch. That way this cheek rest will act as a cheek riser and stay in place when it's in its raised position. On the bottom of the buttstock you'll find the bolt release. It travels in the direction of the buttstock. Right in front of that you'll find the mag release. They're about 1.5 inches apart. Now it's going to take me some time to get used to this new configuration, but I'm sure once I get used to it I'm going to find it quite convenient. Right above the magazine well, you're going to find the left and the right side ejection port and dust cover. The dust cover that's not in use is going to be held in place by a locking pin. To change the pin from the left to the right side, you'll need to take apart the back end of the rifle, and that's when you will cam this cheek rest out of the way so you can move that pin from one side to the other. So you really will want to figure out just which side you prefer. It isn't that you can't do it in the field, it's just easier to do it before you go shooting. Right below the dust cover is the magwell, and it is removable. That might suggest that other magazines like the G36 and of course the Croatian proprietary mag could probably be used with the right insert. The one thing that I would have asked for from the manufacturer, although the magwell is beveled, I would have asked them to flare it a little bit more. I think that would have made it a lot easier to use. As this insert is configured, it will accept the STANAG standard AR-15 type mags. Forward of the magazine you'll find the grip. Springfield Armory chose to go with the Bravo Company Mod 3. Above the grip you're going to find the ambidextrous safety, and by the way, all of the controls on this bullpup are ambidextrous. The safety is a bit stiff, but it'll probably break in with time. The upside is that you can use it without having to adjust your grip. Forward is going to be in the safe position, backwards or downwards is going to be in the fired position. Now if it was up to me, I probably would have reversed that, but that's the way HS Product designed it. Sitting on top of the rifle, you're going to find a whopping 13 inches of Picatinny rail space. That's flanked at both ends by front and rear flip-ups. They lay flush when not in use. When you want to use your flip-ups, you'll use the push button. That will spring them up to the up position on their own, When you want to put them down, you will use the button and then manually lock it in the down position. Both of them are adjustable. The rear has a rotating diopter with a windage knob, and the front has an elevation wheel. The Picatinny rail doubles as a carry handle, and it's removable. The Croatian version has an integrally mounted optic that they can swap back and forth. Let's hope we see that in the future. Underneath the carry handle is a non-reciprocating charging handle. The lever is spring-loaded, and once again it's ambidextrous. So when it's in its charging position, after you've charged the weapon and it's back into battery, the lever will spring back to its inline position. This bullpup has a 2-position gas block that actuates a short-stroke gas piston that works in conjunction with a rotating bolt. That'll keep it clean and cool, unlike our M16. The 2 positions are N for normal and S for suppressed. Shrouding the gas block is a removable forend with M-lock slots at the 3, 6, and 9 position. That'll be convenient for mounting your flashlights, bipods, lasers, etc. Just about the whole receiver and much of the carry handle is made out of polymer, so it appears as though they only used steel when it was absolutely necessary. The 16-inch barrel has a 1-in-7 twist. It's hammer forged, although Springfield's website doesn't mention that. It also has a very tough melanite coating. The CMV steel, plus the aforementioned features, should make this quite a long-lasting barrel. The 4-prong flash hider utilizes the very desirable 1/2 by 28-inch threads. That's going to make swapping out the muzzle device or installing a suppressor a breeze. And lastly, they've given us a total of 6 QD sling mounts, front and rear H&K style sling mounts. That's quite a bit more than most, so I don't think you're going to have any trouble slinging this bullpup. I'm going to skip the disassembly and reassembly part for now. I plan on doing a separate video for that later. Let's grab our gear, let's head out on range, let's get to shooting, and that way we can discuss some of the other features this bullpup has to offer. Alright, now that we have a few of those technical details knocked down, I put a little light oil on this firearm. Let's send a few rounds down range, let's get a feel for that trigger. Alright, let's go see where we're hitting on that target. Bullpups have never been known for their great triggers. This one's probably about average compared to some that I've shot over the years. There's quite a bit of take-up in this trigger. It hits that wall, there's some stacking. Some guys are saying that they're seeing breaks on their Lyman gauge about 5 to 6 pounds. I'm seeing a little bit heavier, between 6 and 7. We'll keep shooting it. Let's see if it gets a little lighter. Triggers do break in over time, and I'm starting to get used to this one. So let's talk about mags for a little bit. They send an M3 mag pull. I don't know if that's just what they had or if there's a reason for that. I tried this Vietnam era magazine and it won't even lock in. So let's try this one. All right, there's 5 shots. No failures to feed, fire, or eject, and it did hold the bolt open on the last round. They've given us about 13 inches of rail space on the top here, and that's quite a bit. My red dot didn't take up anywhere near that much, of course. The flip-up sights do not co-witness with this red dot, and the sight would have to be pretty low for them to co-witness at all. I'm going to try this older mag again and see how we do. Let's see where we're landing on target with this red dot. Once again, no failures to feed, fire, or eject, and it held open again on that bolt carrier group. Let's go see where we're at on target. So I was hitting just slightly to the left, but that's good enough for me. I've got a steel target down range, it's about 55 yards. Let's see if we can hit it. That's not a bad start. 5 shots, 5 hits. Got it swinging pretty good. Well, I think it's fair to say that these metal mil-spec mags are doing just fine. The guys are setting up over on the other side. I'm going to hit that steel target a few more times and we'll hook back up over on the other side. Boy, you know, when you're extremely right-handed like I am, being forced to go left-handed is always going to be quite the challenge. I ran that last routine, moving left to right as a right-hander, and I was sling-bound. That means I can't move my carbine from shoulder to shoulder as quickly as I would like. So you might say, well, why don't you use the left-handed eject? And I would say that's a definite possibility, but you've got to take the carbine apart, rebuild it as such, and that's just not going to be practical in real time. So if you're a righty, set it up as a righty. If you're a lefty, set it up as a lefty. It works just as good left-handed. So the objective in this course was to transition from rifle to handgun each time I went around a different corner. That made it a little tougher for sure. I've been shooting this Hellion quite a bit and it hasn't given me any trouble at all. It's been quite a joy. We're going to have these for sale down at the shop, but they are still kind of tough to come by. It's getting kind of late, so I better wrap it up. 5280 Armory, Colorado's gun shop. We'll see you soon. Hey, and don't forget, if you like watching videos about firearms and supporting your Second Amendment, or you're from another country in which you had a Second Amendment, do us a big favor. Hit that subscribe button so we can keep this channel going. And thanks for watching.